Yes, guys, hope everyone is doing good. So I just thought I'd come on and give a little update on Leeds. Review the Brighton game coming up, talk about a few transfer rumours, outgoings, incomings, Jesse Marsh's press conference. I'll touch on that quickly. Yeah, thank you for watching. Let's get into it. Yeah, before I go into the Brighton review, I just want to talk about a few other things. So the stuff with Dan James, is very interesting. Um, for me, as if you watch my breakdown of the match the other day, I've showed a lot of areas where Dan James was excellent in the game, where Dan James really showed his value to this team. So for me, and 20 million is a lot of money. If that is true, I'm not sure, but it's a question of, does he start when everyone's fit? No, he doesn't. I don't think anyway. But and then there's the question of, if there's a good bench option, do we sell a bench option for 20 million? And I think you've got to forget the money at this point on the transfer window. So it's not, we've not got time to look and invest. With 20 million, it might not even be spent in the window. And I think it's difficult because Dan James is a really specific role in this team, right? We saw what it was. He's not the best player on the ball. We know that. But his energy and his tenacity wins us the ball back. It pressures defenders, and that allows other players to do the magical stuff. We have enough players in the team to provide stats, to provide goals and assists, and create chances. Not every single player in the team has to play that role. It's just not. It just doesn't happen. And I understand that. You're looking at his goals and assists, and people say, I think he got 4 goals, 4 assists last year. That's 8 goal involvements in the Premier League, which to me isn't that bad. You got people saying they'd sign these strikers that have 8 or less goals. Dan James has 8 goal involvements. Whether it's an assist or a goal, he still contributes to 8 goals, the same as these players. So for me, there's a lot of, I don't know, because we played for, I'm not sure, I don't know, but I get 20 million is a lot of money. I understand that. And if Leeds have a ready replacement that is going to come in and where's he going to play? Is he going to be a bench player? But then you got to actually, because he's not going to start, right? He's not going to start over Harrison, Sinistera, or Harrison. So is he a bench player, this new guy, or is that for a striker maybe? But then that leaves you weak in depth on the wing, which is what we were bothered about last season. We had no depth. We're getting rid of one of our best depth players, and he is. I don't care what anyone says. Him coming on in 6th, 7th minute in games would be devastating for some teams. It would. I don't care what anyone says. His speed and his directness and his tenacity, the press in the 75th minute would bring unrivaled energy. So what we're asking for here, we get this 20 million, we lose a winger. So is this for a striker? Is this money for a striker? Because then we need another winger, right? Who do we have? Who's left after that? Somerville? That's it? Is that our depth? Is that what we want? We've got depth in this position. We don't need to get rid of that depth, in my opinion. Maybe, the end of the season, you can think about if it's still on the table, but I like him. I like what he does. I don't think he has to be this player that gets 10 goals and 15 assists a season or whatever we're expecting from him. I think as a winger, he does a really good job in this team. Like he's not as technical as the other players, but he's quicker than the other players. He won the ball back more than a lot of players on that pitch, and that's his role. And he provided the ball in the box, which was a great cross for the assist. Like, I don't know. I think we're getting too carried away with new toys, shiny new toys. We've got to remember what we do have at the club. Look, if we sell him, and the club have clearly identified a way in which he can be replaced. Which for any player in the world, that's fine. But I think we just got to think a little bit about, do we actually have to sell this guy? I wouldn't. I'd keep him. I think he's a very different option off the bench, and I think he could bring a lot to the team. But that's just my opinion. So we've got just remaining transfer window. We've got a week left. Will Lewis do any business? So there's direct. We're talking about Chelsea saying dominoes to fall. This will mean Huang. I know Wolves are linked with a striker, so possibly if they bring him in, that could be the domino for us to go for Huang. Maybe Wolves are not willing to sell the player or whatever. Because Phil said in his podcast that Jesse likes him and he would welcome him, which is a good start. Obviously, if Wolves get a striker, and they'd be more willing to sell him as opposed to now. And I don't think it's based on outgoings. People saying he'll only come in if Dan James. I don't think that's true. I think it's based on other clubs, if I'm being honest. I don't think a club would want to sell him without a replacement. That's just my opinion. But he's clearly an excellent player. His best season was under Jesse Marsh. And I think we saw in the Wolves game, apart from the holding the face and footballer antics, whatever, that I think we saw a player there that he did cause us problems. That little flick over his head and shot, that little Gaza moment, that is a player that will work under Jesse Marsh, I think. So just a quick one. He's not our player, but I'd really welcome him if we did get him. That's just a quick one on that. And obviously, I don't think we're going to get a left back. But obviously, I want to talk about this real quick. So it's just interesting because I always said, trust the players, never give up on the players, never give up on the team. And honestly, we all did to an extent. But I remember when Pascal was at left back and everyone was saying it's the most important position that we have to fulfill. We have to, or we'll be in big trouble. Everyone was saying it. But now everyone's saying we don't need a left back. So what I'm saying, what I mean is just relax, just chill out. It's gonna be fine. You got to trust the coach. He's got recruitment spot on, the coach. Every player he wants is playing really well at the moment. Pascal is absolutely killing it at left back. Johnny Firpo is a good option to have if he goes out. You could argue, obviously going forward, Strauss, he's centre back, so he's not got that attacking mindset. But his defensive mindset is excellent. He hardly gets beat. But on the other hand, it is a scenario where we have to change it around and we're going for a game potentially. You could bring on Firpo, who doesn't have that defensive mindset. But we have seen, even last season in areas, attacking, he could cause a lot of problems. Especially, again, the role in a squad like this is you could come on as a substitute, bomb down that side. That's causing problems. For me, that's causing a lot of problems for opponents. It's about roles and people worrying, he's going to come in, he's going to bring Firpo in and all this. I don't think he is going to. I think he's going to keep Pascal there because he's doing really well. He's not going to bring him out. I think Firpo's a good option to have. And hopefully we'll see Firpo wanting that spot back and hopefully it'll push Pascal, which is just great. It's just good. Yeah. Yeah, just quickly on the Barnsley game, good game. I watched the full replay back on Leeds website. I'm not bothered doing a breakdown because game. Yeah, obvious. Everyone's saying it. I'm not going to go on. Sinisterra was excellent. Of course he was. His class is brilliant. His stats showed that. What a player. Somerville was decent. Drame was decent. Rocker showed his class when he came on. Click was very good. Thought it was solid, yeah. Robin Koch again. He honestly, right. I talked about player of the year. For me, he's up there. He's been excellent. Robin Koch. I've really been pleased with what I've seen. He's so good. He's so underrated in this team, in my opinion. I think he's up there, one of the best performances this season. Consistently. I really do. But anyway, let's go on to the Brighton game. This. Honestly, this could be one of the toughest tests. No, I'm going to go and say this is going to be the hardest game we've had this season. I think. Brighton are a really good side. I really like Graham Potter. I think it's just to see an English manager that's got this different mindset and a different way of playing, a different philosophy. We don't have that. English managers are so stubborn in their tactics, and they think they're too proud almost. But Graham Potter is excellent. He adapts, he changes, he's got an underlying philosophy and mentality that the squad has. And they go to every game, and most weeks they play decent. They've had a similar start to us, beating some decent teams. You know, they beat Man United, didn't they? What a performance. For me, they're very, very technical, which could cause us problems. Pascal Gross, you know, they have him in the midfield, but he often drifts out the right side of the pitch, which, you know, naturally does that as well, which could see a problem for us, you know, that width. So that's something to watch. That's now Pascal's side, isn't it? That's Rocker's side as well. You know, the left side's probably got the better quality player in Trossard. I think it's March on the right. He's probably more consistent, but Trossard is better quality, and he's on the left. But because of Pascal Gross, he often drifts out to the right, and they do like link up plays and stuff like that. So for me, it's going to be a big game in that middle / right area. I think Adams and Rocker have got. This is going to be a lot tougher than Chelsea game for me, because their midfielders move and move and move. Was it the guys at Mbwepu? Let me check. Yeah, they've got Caicedo in there, who we know is an energy box of energy. So this is going to be good. This is going to be a good test. And yeah, you got Caicedo in there. You've got McAllister as well, who's very technical. So I think for us, how we can get something out of this game is obviously you've got to keep up consistency in performance. Arguably, I think they're good on the ball though, but I think we could press the back three. You know, Adam Webster, Lewis Dunk, and Joe Veltman, especially Dunk and Webster. I think we can, if we can press on them. I think we've also got to be careful of the switch. You know, Danny Welbeck's, you know, it is revitalised, isn't he? He's playing really well. He's going to occupy Robin Koch, so we've got to be really careful, because they play five across the middle, so they'll probably have an overload down the side. But yeah, I think obviously I want to win the game, and I won't take anything less than a win. But if he was to grab a point, I don't think it's the worst result. And it keeps us unbeaten. It's momentum. And I think in terms of physicality, I think we better them in physicality. So maybe it's it's going to be a physical game. They're going to try and make it into a technical game. We've got to make it into a physical game. You know, we've got to use Tyler Adams, Aronson in terms of speed and tenacity. That press has got to be good. We've got to be direct, quick. I think that's how we can get something out of this game. I think if we drop deep and don't press as much, I think we're going to struggle, because Brighton are really good at holding the ball. You know, the last few years they've just struggled with that killer instinct, and I still think they are slightly. You know, I think they scored 4 goals this season and conceded 1, which would say that, you know, the games are usually quite close. Yeah, they won 2-0 against West Ham, 1-2-1 against Manchester United. So I think there's definitely ways in which it can be exploited. Obviously, you know, they're not Man City, but they're still a very good side, and it's going to be a good game, and I'm looking forward to it. But we have to be on it, because they could turn us over if we're not. You know, we have to come in with the same attitude and energy that we did against Chelsea and Wolves and Southampton. And if there's a period where they have the ball, we've got to be strong and resolute at the back and in midfield, because they will exploit us with their technical players, because they have really good technical players. So it's going to be a physical game, and we've got to match them or outdo them on the physical game, in my opinion. I think the energy is going to be really big in this game. But yeah, it's going to be a good one. I'm excited. I can't wait. Obviously, I'm looking forward to watching Leeds, and I'm looking forward to this game. It's going to be good. It's not the end of the world, depending on what happens. But I think I'm confident we can get something. Obviously, I am every game. So yeah, that's it. Let's get into it. I can't wait for this this match. It's gonna be good. And thanks for the support as always, legends. Please like, subscribe. Appreciate it. Yeah, peace.